Well, we look like, well, probably be nice if I could hear what I'm saying. And Kathy's first one in the door. All right, how's granddaughter? Hopefully it wasn't anything serious. Damn prison give me a hard time today. It, it would not let me uninstall it on this computer. So I'm running YouTube through Prism. Hopefully tomorrow I can get it uninstalled because I found out the only way I can get the font larger on the chat is if I'm running directly off YouTube. Right now what I'm running is a YouTube chat through Prism. That's why it's so frickin' tiny. But it's nice that, well, it's nice to be back in Studio One. I feel at home over here. Like, you know, the other studio is like I'm visiting friends. Over here, I feel I'm at home. Not to mention, I like the old school look. I am going to put some more signs over here. I'll come all the way down. I've got, oh man, I've got about 30 more of these round ones. Oh, gee, poor kid. Boy, she's just going through real hell with them incisions, isn't she? I hope this is the end of it. I hope nothing worse than having to reopen a damn incision. Oh, man. Yeah, Kathy, you're right. You know, I enjoyed Studio 2, but when I moved over here, I wanted a dedicated studio that basically was me. You know, all these signs, I decorated it. You know, it's nice to have the backgrounds I can change over there. But this kind of makes me feel like I'm in an old studio from back in the 50s, you know. Oh, I've got a shitload more of these signs. I have to try to figure out, without making it look like hodgepodge, how to get them a little closer together so I can put more signs up. And Ron is here. Let's play a little music and get things started. Broadcasting live from the WDWL TV #1 studio. It's none other than the grumpy old man, me. And our studios, in case you ever want to visit, are located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard But Grumpy's personal studio is located on Grumpy Old Man Road. And just for you, Ron, I brought the jackalope back to where he belongs. And the lava lamp, I turned it on early and it's lava-ing. And Linda's here. All right. How's everybody doing? I've been roasting my ass off all day today, man. It was 84, but the humidity was, oh, Jesus. I hate when, the sweat just pours down you like somebody's dumping a bucket of water on you. Didn't I like this? Come on, Jesus. I do have an announcement. Tonight the show is only going to be an hour. Mainly because I've been invited to dinner. And I'm really looking forward to this. Because my buddy's father, who is 91 years old, who came over here from Messina, Italy at the age of 10, is treating everyone to his homemade Italian sausage. He makes, at 91 years old, he makes his own Italian sausage in his basement. And he makes two versions, regular and hot. Oh boy. So, he come over with it looked beautiful. Two big, large rings of Italian sausage. And to go with it, he stopped at the Italian bakery and got some nice, like, Italian hoagie rolls. And then he brought green, red, and yellow peppers and two kinds of onions. And we're going to have Italian sausage and hoagie rolls with peppers and onions. Oh, I can't wait. This Italian sausage is a recipe that his parents brought over from Italy because the family had a little meat market over in Messina, Italy. I have to look on the map to see where Messina, Italy is. And his parents taught him how to make Italian sausage. And from what him and my buddy were telling me, he goes down the basement, he hand cuts all the meat, hand grinds everything, and he uses authentic casings, not these synthetic ones that you can buy. So this is like real old world Italian sausage. And he makes his own wine. I'll try a little bit. I'm not supposed to be drinking alcoholic beverages, but yeah, he presses his own. He goes out There's 2 or 3 orchards that he buys his grapes from, and he makes about 100 gallons. So he brought the Italian sausage, and everything is authentic Italian. He stopped at the Italian bakery. I don't know. It's got to be a bakery somewhere on the east side, because the one we have here on the west side that closed up, went out of business, sold all the equipment. You know, it's sad, because that Italian bakery, I remember driving past it when I was like 5, 6 years old. And it's typical of nowadays, where the younger generation, they want nothing to do with it. When, the parents got ill and they couldn't run the bakery anymore, the employees were begging, please keep it open, we'll help. Well, the kids were like, nah, we don't want to be bothered with that shit. We grew up with it. So they sold all the equipment, they sold the building, and there went the authentic Italian bakery. No, I didn't get any email at all from you, Ron. Because I've been checking my email, because I'm supposed to be getting a return shipping label from an eBay seller. That's something that really pissed me off. I ordered an AC to DC converter, because I have several strips of LED lights that I want to put here in the studio. I have one strip back behind the monitors right now. And they require 24 volts DC. So I go on eBay and I order this voltage converter, and it was from 0 to 24 volts. Good. I get it delivered. It don't work. Brand new, out of the box, don't work. So I messaged the seller and I said, hey, this thing don't work. Of course, did you follow the instructions? That's enough to piss me off right there. I wrote back, I'm 73 years old. I've been dealing with electronics all my life. I know how to take a converter out of a box, plug it in to a power strip, and turn a switch on. Yes, I followed the instructions. I said I even hooked it up to a voltmeter. Nothing. The digital display ain't working. There's no voltage. So they send me a second one. It showed up like 9 o'clock this morning. So I'm like, oh boy. I bring it in. I take it out of the box. I plug it in. I turn the switch. Nothing. I said, come on, this can't be happening. There's got to be something. So I reread the instructions. Dead. 2 of them. So I messaged the seller back and I said, how many of these do you happen to sell? Because the quality control on these things sucks. He said, oh, we've sold over 3,000 over several platforms on eBay, and so far we've only had 3 bad ones out of 3,000. I said, well, you can up that to 5. The guy didn't believe me. He said, send me pictures. So I put the power strip up on the desk. I turned the power strip on and I took a picture of the red light showing the power strip on. Then I plugged in a light. I had a little lamp, a little end table lamp. I brought it in. I took the shade off. I plugged the light in. I turned the switch on. Light goes on. I take a picture. Then I plug in the power converter. And I'm pointing. Off, I take a picture. On, I take a picture. I said dead. I did it with the second one too. Yeah, he could believe me on the first one. And I didn't believe I get two dead ones in a row. Brand new, out of the box. Box is all sealed, factory, Of course, it's crap made in China. So he says, do you want us to ship you another one? I said, no, I'm done with your company. Do you want them back? He said, yes. I said, good, send me a shipping label. I ain't paying to send them back to you. And I said, make sure you have enough postage for a box and both of the converters, because I'm going to box them up and send them to you. Talk about crap. Oh my God, I remember Prestige. I used to stop in there going up. I used to have to go up to Mayfield Road, geez, I can't remember the street now, to get to the Jewish funeral home. And I would stop at Prestige and get some pizza, because they always had pizza. So I'd get me 5, 6, 7 slices of pizza. I'll have to ask him if he goes to Prestige, because there's no Italian bakeries over here anymore at all. The only one was Mazzone's, and they over on Fulton and Clark, and the kids didn't want nothing to do with the business. Well, Linda, I could believe it the first time. But then to get a second one, and the second one doesn't work either. I'll check my email. The computer's over on the other side, Ron. So I'll check. I can't access email. Although if I had this other computer hooked up, I could, because I have another monitor right here. I should have hooked that up today. It was too hot though. That way I could have my email, my AOL over here on that screen, and YouTube/Prism over here. Because I've got twin monitors side by side here. Although I'll tell you what, they're both 24-inch. The one on the left side is a Pyle, P-Y-L-E. And the one on the right is a Samsung. And I'll tell you what, it's unbelievable the difference between the two monitors. This Samsung is so crisp, and the colors just jump out at you. And the Pyle is kind of washed out. And they were both brand new out of the box. Oh, you have to. I have to bake cupcakes. You. Hey, my Betty Crocker days are long gone. I'm lucky to bake the Diggerino's pizza. Oh, back in the day, I used to bake like crazy. I used to bake my own bread. Oh man, did I get on a baking kick? A friend of mine, I think she was the Salvation Army. She found this breads from all over the world cookbook. And of course, dummy me, I decide to start baking bread, you know. Every weekend, a different kind of bread. Some of them were wonderful. Some of them were disasters. I'll never forget the time. I mix up a batch of bread dough, and I had too much liquid in it. So I'm not paying attention, and I just reach in the cupboard. I bring down the flour, and I added some more flour and mixed it all up. I cover the bowl, you know, I put it in a warm oven so it would start to rise. About 20 minutes later, I come out in the kitchen and it looked like something from the Little Rascals. The dough was growing and growing and growing and growing. I punched it down and it's growing and growing and growing. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I didn't use that much yeast. What the hell? Well, the extra flour that I put in happened to be self-rising flour. Oh, did I learn a lesson? Shit, I had goddamn bread dough everywhere. But I used to make, oh God, you name it. I even made some of that Mediterranean bread where basically it comes out and it looks like a ball. And then you punch it down and you flatten it. Like pita bread. I made some of that. And then like, oh, I felt so bad. My neighbor gave me a little bit of starter for making sourdough bread. And this starter was like her great grandmother's. You have to keep it going. So she brought me over a little, she said, here, you know. So I made some sourdough bread. It turned out great. I'm not paying attention, and I end up killing the starter. I can't remember how you keep it going. You have to add a little more flour and water to it or something. But this was like starter that came down through the family from her great grandmother. I didn't have the I didn't have the guts to tell her I screwed the starter up and killed it. Yeah, I can't remember how you keep it going. You gotta do something with it to keep it going. But you know, she brings me it, and I must have made like 10 loaves of sourdough bread. I mean, oh, it was delicious. But I wasn't paying attention to the starter, and I screwed it up. I made 3 or 4 varieties of rye bread. I made some pumpernickel. I made some kind of fancy. What the hell was it? Olive bread, olive oil, something. Some of the breads were a little exotic. I didn't try them, but it got to be the point my wife was going like, "Will you quit with the fucking bread already? Jesus Christ." I says, "I'm on a roll." She says, "I'm gonna roll you." Although I bought a bunch of little pans, and I made a shitload of Easter bread one Easter. I gave every one of my neighbors a little Easter bread. I never made friendship bread. I heard of it. Like I say, I was on a roll, man. Every weekend was a different bread. And like I say, some were great and some were real flops. Of course, when you make bread in a kitchen oven, it's tough. If you're going to do bread, you need commercial oven. I think the last bread that I made was when I made the Easter bread, because I had the pans were about like yay by yay. I think I ended up making like 40 loaves. I gave one to every neighbor around me. Then I had one neighbor had no idea what Easter bread was. He says to me, he goes, "How come that bread had raisins in it? You didn't tell me it was raisin bread." I said, "It's not raisin bread." I said, "It's Pascha bread, Easter bread." He goes, "Well, make me some without raisins." I said, "If you don't put the raisins in it, it's not Easter bread, you idiot." Matter of fact, I think, well, I was close. I had the ska. I had the SKA. Hey, I never said I could pronounce things right. Magically that bread cookbook disappeared. I think my wife donated it back to Salvation Army. Of course, during the summer when you're baking bread, that's the last thing you need. It's 85 degrees outside and 105 in the house. But I was enjoying it because I was even making our hamburger buns. What else did I make? Well, I made hamburger buns. I made hot dog buns, hoagie buns. Yeah, I was on a roll there for a while. And then I took a hiatus, and the cookbook disappeared. I was like, "Where'd my bread book go?" My wife was like, "I don't know. You misplaced it." I said, "Well, it's pretty funny. We have one bookshelf in the living room. It's the only place I would have put it with the cookbooks. It's strange that all the cookbooks are there and no bread cookbook. Because I had every single cookbook that was written by the two fat ladies. Oh, I used to love watching them on Food Network. Yeah, I had a shitload of, well, I had every cookbook that they put out. And then a friend of mine gave me one of Paula Dean's cookbooks. It came with a pound of butter attached to it. Oh, I almost forgot to show you what my buddy's an asshole. I'll tell you. He went to B.A. Sweeties today. Now, you think he would bring me some candy or bring me some Charles chips? No. He brings me a bottle of baking soda with chocolate. I'm not drinking it. Even though I like bacon, the thought of it scares me. Baking soda with chocolate. Made by Lester's Fixins. I should have read the label. But, hang on. Has authentic bacon flavor with chocolate. Oh, that sounds disgusting. Bacon soda. Thank God he didn't bring me a six-pack. Yeah, he says to him, you go to B.A. Sweeties, you didn't say nothing to me. I'd have given you money to get me some Charles chips and some Dad's root beer, because that's the only place you can get Charles chips around here, and Dad's root beer. No, he sneaks down there and brings me one bottle of baking soda. Yeah, baking soda. No, baking soda. With chocolate. Can you imagine bacon and chocolate? Oh, that combination doesn't even sound good. Although he did bring me something else. One bottle. Mr. Generosity, you know. One bottle. He brought me a bottle of classic Coca-Cola. Original recipe. What is it, 8-ounce bottle? Yep, little 8-ouncer. Like you used to get out of the pop machines. Authentic, classic, original recipe. He could have brought me a six-pack. One. That'll no sooner wet my whistle than I'll be, oh, gee, I want some more. I remember them 8-ounce bottles in the old pop machines where they'd be lined up, or the ones that looked like a giant deep freeze. You put your money in, and the release bar would release, and you pull the bottle straight up. Or the ones with the bottles that were lined up vertically. You know what was surprising? The other day, I think it was Good Morning America. They were saying that Coke is going to do a limited run with authentic cane sugar. So, there were 3 or 4 of them sitting at the desk. I don't know. Strahan was one of them. So they had 2 glasses in front of each one. And the guy that was doing the news story said, all right, taste the one on the left first. So everybody took a drink. Now taste the one on the right. Everybody took a drink. And they said, all right, which one is the cane sugar Coke and which is the other? Everybody picked the one that wasn't the cane sugar. I could tell the difference, but nobody on the TV could. They all picked the high fructose corn syrup one. So supposedly it's supposed to be like September when you're going to be able to buy it in the stores. And I think they said the bottle tops are going to be red. Although don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. There's supposed to be a way to identify them in the store without having to pick it up and read it, although it's going to say Classic Coke on it, made with cane sugar. So I think they said September. You're going to start finding it in stores, but it's going to be a limited run because all the people bitching about, oh, cane sugar, it's bad for you. Ugh. High fructose corn syrup is worse. Yellow? Well, okay. That could be. I can't remember. Yeah, maybe they said red is the corn syrup and. Yeah, so yeah. All right. Red is the corn syrup and the yellow is going to be the cane sugar. So once I see some yellow caps, I'll buy some. Although I'm really hung up on my cherry RC cola. I got four more 2 liters today when I went to the store. And there's a shitload of $1.49 2 liters, which is great because that means that there'll be more when I go back next week. Which I don't understand because the one assistant manager says, "Oh, we sell a shitload of RC cola here." And I'm thinking to myself, if you sell a shitload, then that end cap should be empty, unless they keep refilling it. Have have any of you seen the $1.49 RC in the stores? According to the distributor, it's supposed to be nationwide. They have this big promotion so that people will go back to RC Cola. Unless maybe they're shipping it all to Ohio. I don't know. All I know is every time I go to the store, I'm snatching up them $1.49 2 liters. Although I'm still watching for my Seagram's ginger ale to go on sale. God, last year they had it for a 2 liter for 25 cents. Then they had a 2 liter for 50 cents. That's when I stocked up. Have you seen this new pop? I've been seeing it advertised all over the place called Ollie Pop. Yeah, OLI, Ollie Pop. I've been looking for it, but yeah, Kathy, for yeah, for Passover. The stores, mainly in the Jewish areas, the Coke has got yellow caps. Because if I go over on the east side, I can buy it there. But even though we have a temple up the street from us, none of the stores around here have yellow cap Coke at Passout. Or a pushover or whatever. Yeah, it's the best kept secret. We've got a temple up the street. Matter of fact, most people in the neighborhood thinks it's a daycare. I said, no, it's the Temple West. It's interesting, a Gentile knows where the temple is. Christ, it's been there forever. But you would think with us having a temple in the neighborhood, you would find yellow cap Coke during pushover. And I've been into Gigantic Eaglet, they didn't have it. Walmart, they didn't have it. And Mark's. You would think they would have it because Mark Glassman is Jewish. Don't find it in the store. Yeah, I even said to the store manager, I said, you know, you would think during pushover, with the temple being up the street, and the guy who owns these stores is Jewish, we would have some yellow cap Coke around here. He said, I don't know. He said, then he asked me, what's yellow cap Coke? I said, it's made with pure cane sugar, kosher for pushover. So then he goes back and he looks and he goes, yeah, you're right, there's no yellow cap back here. I said, you doubted my word? Yeah, pass over, push over, pass out. But you would think, with him being Jewish, and there being a temple not more than 4 blocks from his store, we would have it. None of his stores around here had yellow cap Coke. Must be all over on the east side. Oh, I'm watching, Kathy. When dinner's about ready to go on the table, I get a text message. You know, they make a kill switch for them backup alarms. I even showed him where it was. Every night, beep, 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 beep. because it's a brand new flatbed. He just got it 3 weeks ago. And I was looking at it and I said, "Oh, you have a backup alarm kill switch." He gave me a kind of a strange look, and I said, "Look, it's right here. If you shut this off, when you're back in the driveway, it won't go beep, 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 beep." He just ignored me. And I told him, I said, if you're afraid of getting in the morning and, forgetting to turn it back on, when you pull out of the driveway, you can flip the switch back to on. Because in the morning when he goes to start the truck, beep, 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 beep. Although I was reading an article a little while back that stated that they are going to change the tones on the backup alarms. Because with it being the same beep, beep, beep tone for like 25 years, people don't hear it. It's like car alarms. Car alarms today go off, people don't hear them, even though the alarm is screeching in the street, because you block it out. And they said that there's been a lot of construction accidents over the years now because they block that noise out. So they're supposed to change the tones, where instead of it beep, beep, it'll be like beep, 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 beep. Yeah, they were saying that there's a lot of accidents with trucks backing into construction sites because people don't pay them any mind, like car alarms. Every goddamn car's got an alarm on it today. Back in the day when car alarms first came out, a car alarm would go off and everybody'd be like, "Where's that car? Who's trying to steal it?" Now a car alarm goes off and people are like, "Do you hear something?" "No." "Oh, I thought I heard a car alarm." Yeah, OSHA. It was an article by one of the OSHA public information officers, said that over the last several years there have been a lot of backing accidents because with the tone being the same for 25, 30 years, that people just tone it out. They could be standing right next to it and it's like, "Do you hear something?" So OSHA has contacted all the alarm companies and said, we need you to change the tones. Because before these electronic ones, it used to be a bell. I remember there was a bell was always mounted on the rear axle. And as the truck backed up, there were little hammers that would hit the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Well, then people started toning out the ding, ding, ding. So they came up with this electronic tone, beep, 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 and it worked great. Until it got to be the point where every goddamn construction vehicle and tow truck, they all got the same goddamn. So people don't hear it. They don't. And OSHA said, that they're getting tired of getting all these accident reports of people getting run over in construction sites. So they're supposed to be coming out with new backup alarms with different tones. But so far I haven't heard any. Every truck in the neighborhood's got the same beep, 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 beep. Hang on. Incoming. Okay. Dad got a little bit behind. So he told me he will text me when dinner is really going to be served. It won't be ready at 8. That's all right. At 91 years old, he deserves, hey, I'm not going to complain. Yeah, he said, the text message, Dad got sidetracked. Dinner is going to be a little late. I'll text you. That's all right. At 91 years old, God, he deserves to get sidetracked if he's making, Italian sausage from scratch and his own wine. Not that I'm much of a wine drinker, but I'll take a taste. Maybe just a little one. To be polite. While everybody's probably going to have beer mugs full. Oh yeah, Kathy. Hey, if he texted me at 1 in the morning and said dinner's finally being served, I said I'll be right there. Because this is going to be a real, true Italian feast. Especially with the Italian rolls. And God forbid somebody puts ketchup on that Italian sausage. Oh, God, he'll probably... Yeah, supposedly he's making Italian salad. He said Dad loaded up the car and brought everything for dinner. It's amazing, at 91 he's still driving. And what was it, 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. He passed his driver's test with flying colors. Because when you reach a certain age in Ohio, I think every 2 years, you have to like retest. You can't just go in and renew. Yeah, he got like 100% on the driving and 98% on the parking because he bumped the curb. If it had been me, I'd have said to the goddamn examiner, hey, I'm 90 years old. Cut me some slack. Is it 80? I know when you reach a certain age, you can't just walk in and renew. You literally have to take the frickin' test. And then, Kathy, what's even more awesome, he's got a 91 Cadillac sedan that's like a land yacht. And it looks like brand new. Oh my God. Yeah, he said it was going to be the last car he ever bought. A 91 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. And like I say, he parked that thing and he nudged the curb and the goddamn examiner took 2 points off or something. I'd have got out and hit the examiner with a tire iron. Yeah. I'm 90 years old. Lucky I can drive, let alone you're gonna. Yeah, when he gets home, the car goes in the garage, and he wipes the whole car down. And it only goes out on Saturdays in the winter to get groceries. Well, on Sunday too, to go to church. He still goes to church. And he's got a heated garage. And in the winter, when he gets back, he hoses it down, hoses up underneath, gets down underneath, sprays the frame down. Car looks like it just rolled out of the showroom. Of course, everybody wants to buy it. He's already said when he has to quit driving, he's giving it to his grandson. I can see his grandson going, oh, gee, a land yacht. Yeah, it's a beautiful light metallic blue with a white leather interior. Because when he went to buy tires, nobody carries white walls anymore. He had to special order them. He's got them, what the hell is that? Vogue tires. They got a white wall and they got a gold wall. Yeah, it's got a white wall and it's got a gold wall. I think he said they're Vogues. Cost them a fortune. But he didn't want no black wall tires. He was like, black walls on a Cadillac? That's blasphemous. Get me some white walls. I don't know where they got them from. It took about a week to get them. So he's got his fancy white and gold tires. You know, Linda, it's great when somebody sits back and goes, yep, it's time for me to quit driving. I don't see me making that decision. They're probably going to have to hold me down on the ground, beat me, handcuff me. Give me that license. Yeah, I don't see me giving it up. Although, if it got to be the point I really couldn't drive safe, I suppose I would have to make that decision, but as long as I can drive my manuals, that's why I'm happy I got another one. Although, goddamn probate court is so goddamn slow with the goddamn car title for that Passat. Pissing me off. Although I can't really do anything with it until January, but I'd like to have it here so I can at least work on it. Because I got a stack of parts for it out in the living room. Because I had to get mirrors. And the front seats weren't the greatest, so I got seat covers. And what else have I got? I got a battery for it. I got the oil and the filter sitting out in on the stairway going down the basement. Wiper blades. A whole bunch of shit I got for it already. But I ordered some classy seat covers for the two front seats. The back one I ain't too much worried about. But the corner of the one seat was torn. So I ordered these really, I'm probably going to regret it, they're leather. Two-tone black with green inserts to match the car. Oh, probate court is so far behind, it's sickening. Not to mention, you know, he had 3 houses and 12 cars, so things are kind of backed up. Because when his son was here the other day, I said, "What's going on?" And he says, probate court's on. I said, "Well, I'd like to at least get the car over here." He says, "All right, next time I come over, we have to try to get." He's got a Toyota. I don't know what the hell the Toyota is. It's a 2016 Toyota something SUV. So I'm hoping the brand new battery I got, we can jump start the Toyota. And once it starts, the alternator should kick in and keep it going. And then he can pull it onto the backyard. And then I can put the battery in the Passat, back it out, and bring it over here. You know, probate has got to be the slowest fucking court out of all the divisions. You know, civil division, you file a lawsuit, bingo, you know, it's up for hearing. Criminal division, you know, somebody gets indicted for murder, bingo, you know, they plea deal it out. Probate, the judges must all be sleeping. And it's like that in every goddamn county. I don't know what the story is with probate courts. Because my friend said, like down in Florida, it took like almost a year and a half, and you know, his parents didn't really have that much. So when he tells me probate courts slow up here, I'm like, well, it must be every goddamn probate court throughout the United States. But like I say, it doesn't help with Jim had 3 houses and 12 cars and I don't know how many bank accounts. So that bogs things down, but that still shouldn't be. Like I told him, I can't legally put license plates on it until after the 1st of January. Which I shouldn't have said to him because he's thinking, well, he can't do anything with it anyway. Well, I want to get it ready. I want the car ready to go. So comes the 2nd of January, I go into the BMV and say, give me my license plates because I don't have to pass the fucking inspection. And I'm set to go. Call Progressive, hey, insure me another car. Well, another thing, Ron, is I don't know how fast his son reacted to getting shit into probate court. He might have sat on his hands for 6 months and then went, oh shit, I gotta probate all this stuff. I didn't want to get too personal with him, but technically once they issue a death certificate, that's when you go into probate court and get shit started. But I don't know how long he sat. His son might have put it off for 6 months, thinking that, oh, yeah, probate that, in and out. No. I mean, I remember back in the 70s when because I worked for the county and I worked for the court system. And I worked in the civil and I worked in criminal and I did about 6 months in probate division. And everything in probate was just stacked up and backed up. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I got judges, the whole floor full of judges. What are you people doing? Playing cards? But I've heard probate courts are like that throughout the United States. Now, I could see if somebody had a $5 million mansion and $10 million in the bank and, 37 exotic cars. Yeah, it's going to take a while. But this should have gone right through. 3 houses, free and clear. 12 cars. Here's all the titles probate court, all 12 of them. But like I say, I don't know when he got a hold of a probate attorney and said, hey, I got to get this shit taken care of. In the meantime, I'm sitting here waiting. And like I keep telling you, I can't drive the damn thing. Maybe take it around the block to make sure that, the clutches are right and the brakes and that. But it's not like I can drive it all over the place. I don't have license plates. And I'm not going to take the chance of getting caught with a phony tag on it and then the goddamn car get impounded and then I'm screwed. once I get it over here and get things in, I'll zip it around the block now and then, but I wouldn't take it on a main road. But see, sometimes I say too much. And that might be another thing with him going, well, I don't know, he can't drive, but, he can't get license plates till January. What's the big hurry? The big hurry is January 2nd. I want to go to the BMV, get the tags, come home, call Progressive, and say, hey, I got another car, insure it right now. I'm driving it. Hello, is this Flo? She's like in her late 40s. And you take a look in the commercials, boy, boy, is she wearing a lot of foundation. But it was amazing. I read an article, it was several years back. Progressive changed their advertising and they got rid of Flo. And people threw a shit fit. Where's Flo? And they ended up bringing her back. And now she has a lifetime contract with Progressive. As long as she wants to make commercials, she's got a job. But it was amazing. Everybody was like, where's Flo? We've been watching Progressive commercials and Flo isn't around. Of course, Flo is the face of Progressive Insurance. And the sad thing is, she holds a SAG card, a Screen Actors Guild card. And she did some bit parts in some movies and a couple like soap operas. And she didn't get picked up. They were like, oh, thank you, you did your couple of shows. She gets commercial with Progressive. And she became Progressive. She is the people think Progressive. Oh, they picture Flo. Well, have you seen the Progressive commercials? That other girl that they have, and then that idiot. What the hell's his name? He's like a clown. Those two. I see a commercial come on like, oh, please, not them. I can take Flo. I can't take them. What the hell's her name? Megan or something? And then what, Jimmy or whatever his name is. I can't take those two. I can't remember the black guy's name. I can handle him, but those other two. And then what the hell's the one for Allstate? Mayhem? Oh, I see a commercial come on for Allstate. I'm clicking. Change the channel. Oh, yeah, Jake from State Farm. But that Mayhem, he drives me crazy. Saw a commercial with him the other day with a leaf blower. The woman opens her car door and he blows the car full of leaves. And got that fucking Band-Aid over his eye. Yeah, when Flo steps out of her progressive mode, she don't make it. Like I say, she tried out for. She had a little bit part in a movie, and they never, no talent agencies called her back, and she was on a soap opera for 2 or 3 shows, and they decided, but Progressive, when Progressive was gonna, when they tried to do away with her, people threw, oh God, people were threatening to get rid of their policies. And yeah, Kathy, Mayhem in some of the commercials is funny. The one the other day with him with the fucking leaf blower, blowing leaves in the street and cars, collide, and then this woman, she goes to get out of her car after she has an accident, and he blows the car full of leaves. That commercial wasn't funny. Now, some of the Mayhem ones I like. But Jake from State Farm, I've had it up to here with him. But see, everybody's trying to copy Progressive. Progressive had Flo for, Christ, what, 30 years? 25 years? And they basically, they studied like, oh, gee, Flo's the face of Progressive. Well, now we need a face. So State Farm come up with Jake. Allstate come up with Mayhem. Who are the other big insurance companies? Oh, Geico with the goofy gecko. Everybody has to have a gimmick. Because what the hell's the insurance company? Don't be like your parents. I can't think of what the insurance company is. Oh, that's stupid. Limu, emo. Oh, God, that is so fucking stupid. Limu, emo, yeah. That newest commercial with him chewing up the golf course. But see, everybody gotta have a gimmick now. Especially when the insurance companies, realized people were going with Progressive because they liked Flo. Me, I go with Progressive for the rate and the customer service. Just because they had Flo didn't make me buy their insurance. When State Farm got ridiculous, I was like, that's it. I'm done. And Progressive was the best rate. And I've been with them like 25, 26 years now. And like I say, I've had 2 stupid backing accidents that they forgave me for. Although I don't want to try for a third one, thank you. When you get over 65, they're looking for an excuse to cancel you today. or jack your rates so high you can't afford to drive. Are they really? God, Progressive is really reasonable up here. Although, they base it on how many accidents are in a region. Now, evidently, we don't have, in our region, we don't have a lot of accidents, a lot of claims. Maybe in your area, there's a lot of claims, so they raise the rates. But around here, because I would say 5 of my neighbors are with Progressive, and everybody said they stick with them because of the low rate. Yeah, because when I was with State Farm and my rates were going up every year, I asked my agent, I said, why in the goddamn hell is my insurance going up every year and I'm accident free, ticket free? They said, well, they go by regions. And if they have a lot of claims, that region gets higher insurance. I was like, well, that's bullshit. So I told them, I said, don't automatically renew my policy because I'm starting to look. And I called Allstate, I called Farmers. Oh, who's the one with the deer? I called them, and I called Progressive, and Progressive was way cheaper than everybody. So I was like, well, I'll try them and see what happens. And now I've been with them, like I say, 25, 26 years, and they've been very fair with me. And my neighbors that are insured with them say the same thing. So evidently down in your area, they must have a lot of claims, which is sad. No, I didn't call Metropolitan. But we're talking 26 years ago. I'm lucky I can remember yesterday. Hang on, incoming. Okay, dinner is just about ready to go on the table. Wonderful. There's my dinner call. I guess it's time to play some music. Time to play some music. Where is it? I was going to play the new version. I can't find it. I know I didn't delete it. I know I didn't delete it. Why can't I find the new version? Well, that's interesting. Well, that's strange. I can't find the remake. Although everybody likes the older one, the original. Oh, here it is. I know everybody was going to play the original, play the remake. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight in good old Studio One. We'll meet again right here, WDWL TV. I put the license plate up. Yeah, I know. Get over there before there ain't no dinner on the table. All right, everybody. Have a good rest of your evening. I'll definitely let you know how dinner was tomorrow. Take care. See ya.